Hello, this is Jack Spirko, CEO of the ICE Marketing Group, LLC. Today's presentation is going to be about understanding includes files. This is not how to do an includes file. That is the next presentation by our CTO, Benjamin Fitz. This is just to give you an understanding of the grasp of a concept of an includes file, what it is and why you might want to use it, so that when you watch Ben's video, it'll make more sense to you. Now, if you already know what an includes file is and you understand how they work and you just want to know how to use them, you can skip this video and go straight to Ben's video. But if you're struggling with the concept at all, if you don't know exactly what it is, take a few moments to watch this presentation and it's going to make everything a lot easier to understand going forward. Now, going on to our next slide, it says how a web page works. Now, again, this may be something you understand, but if you don't understand includes files, give me a moment and it's going to make a lot more sense to you when I'm done. When we look at a web page, and this is my crude drawing of a web page right here, and this blue circle represents an image. And we're sitting in our browser, we see the web page, and we're under the impression that that picture is actually there on that web page. But it's not really there. It's stored on our web server or maybe even another web server somewhere else. And there's a little line of HTML code that says when the browser pulls up this file, display this picture here. So let's look at how that really works on an actual website. Okay, well, now we're on one of my personal web pages. Now this is not a fancy website. In fact, it's very simple, and it's why I chose to use it. This is a little personal page about me, my wife, my family, and some of my views. And just like the little thing we had on the PowerPoint slide, what we're looking at here is a simple web page. Now this web page is using text and some images. And as I explained before, this image is not really on this web page. It's just being displayed here. Now I can show you what I mean by that very simply here. I'm in my Firefox browser. I'm going to right click, and one of my options is going to be view image. So I'm going to select view image. Now we're looking at the same picture. It looks slightly larger. That's because the code bringing the picture into the page we were just looking at actually says to size the image down. But as you can see up here, this picture is actually sitting at jackspirko.com/images, Jack and Dorothy Spirko.jpg. So that's actually the location of this image. When we see it here, it's just a line of code calling it in so that you can see it displayed on the web page, and it appears to you the way the code dictates. And what I mean by the way the code dictates is the code says bring the image in, set it to a certain size, align it to the left, put some space between the picture and the words. And that's exactly how the picture displays to you. It looks that way. But you got to remember, the picture's not really there. It's over here sitting on this piece of space. Now, why does that apply to an includes file? Because an includes file can work exactly the same way. And what I mean by that is an includes file would be a file that has any piece of information. It could be pictures, it could be a combination of pictures and text, or it could be just text. Now, it just so happens that this menu over here is an includes file. And what I did is I built this page first, and I put in the links to all the other pages that I was going to build. And then I used this first page as a template, and every time I built a new page, like let's say my page about online marketing. When I built that page, I simply changed the name of the file and used the original page as a template, so that my one little line of code over here that calls this information in this includes file was already there. What that means is now if I want to add a page to my website, instead of having to go to every single page on my site and having to change the menu on that site, I can just change the file that is here, and it will be displayed across the entire site, just sort of like this image is displayed. Now I'm going to real quick show you what it looks like in front page, both in the what you see is what you get view and what it looks like at the code view. By the time I do that, and then you go watch Benjamin Fitz's presentation on how to put includes files on your site, you're going to be able to do this yourself, and it's going to make a lot of sense to you over time why you want to do it. You may be thinking right now that this seems a little bit technical. Trust me, stay with the presentation, stay with Ben's presentation, because I'm going to let you in on a little secret right now. When I started to do online marketing, there were no courses like this. There was nothing for me to go learn on, and my lack of knowledge in this area has cost me over $100,000 being conservative in the past 5 years. So I want you to grasp this. That's why we put this in the free members area. So let's go take a look at front page, see what it looks like there, and hopefully the whole thing will start to pull together for you. Okay, so now we're in Microsoft front page looking at the same page, the same home page to that site, the same file. Now, what I want you to see is these pictures are displaying just like they are because I have this site mirrored on my hard drive of my computer. But PHP is actually on my server. I don't have PHP, which is the way we're going to show you to do includes files with. That's a technology that runs on my web server. So here, when I'm in the what you see is what you get editing mode, all I see is the line of code itself right here. Now, don't worry about what this says. Ben's going to show you the exact command to use and put it in nice big font for you so that you can do this on your own page later. I just want you to understand that that right now is the command that brings it in there. If we wanted to see the code view of this, I can switch down here to my code view, and I can see right here, there's that command again, and it's just saying go here and find this file and display it for me right here. So when we go back online again, you can see that's exactly what's happening here. This is not really here. Just like this picture's not really here, this menu's actually somewhere else. I'm going to go back to front page, and if I switch to another file, you can see this is actually the file that's being called up by that script. So if I go in here and I change this and save it and then upload it to my server, not only will it change here, but every web page that I have included this command on will change as well. So when I'm building a new site, what I'm going to want to do is I'll start with my home page, and I will make, again, that home page will become a template for everything I do going forward. So, now let's take a look at some of the reasons that you'd want to do this in the first place. Alright, well, I'm going to have to go ahead and conclude this part of our video. Be sure to tune in for part 2 to see the rest of the presentation, and thank you for watching.